Well, hello. Have you ever found yourself on the highway and next to somebody that appeared to have, well, let's just say a bit of road rage and not the best amount of patience, and instead of letting you over, they just decide they want to get in your way and burn rubber on you? Are they really burning rubber, or are they spreading pollution? When they off and their car's emission smoke is just coming all the way in front of you in your car, and that smoke is just hitting you, you know what it's doing? It's polluting you. And so, of course, my topic is pollution and the dangerous effects on our society in this world. So, what is pollution, you might ask? Well, that's a lovely question to ask, and I'm gonna write down my time. Want to make sure I don't go over. Harmful materials called pollutants, and they can be natural, like volcanic ash, for example, or human made by your mom, your dad, perhaps your uncle, cousin, Pookie down the street, like runoff from a factory, or maybe trash, leftover trash, all in the streets, all in the oceans, at your job, in your attic. I mean, trash can be everywhere. Let's be honest. We don't really take out the trash like we need to, and trash can get a bit messy and trashy. Even car emission, like in my opening statement. Um, According to the naturalgeographic.org, there are many landfills, as a matter of fact, that hold massive trash that can be very dangerous for our society. And it leaves us with a daunting question. If pollution is such a harmful threat to our society, how can we get rid of it? Excuse my characterization here, but it leaves me wondering, what can we do with our trash? Because it seems that the landfills, the sewers, and the oceans are just becoming more and more pollutants and more of a threat to human and animals and even mammal life, whales and fishies and sea creatures and all sorts. Have you ever seen the Dawn commercial where the little duckies are full of all of this oil from the ships or from the sea, some type of sticky, gooey oil? Well, that is sadly an effect of pollution, and they didn't take the Dawn. I love this commercial. And they wash the little ducky clean, and then they let the ducky go back into the pond or the ocean, or wherever its home is, but they are freeing that duck because the pollution of the oil has closed its wings, and he almost dies had not been for those rescuers. Um, Everyday things can also be pollutants, like, for example, amusement parks, driving our cars, trucks, riding the train to work. I know I used to ride buses and buses and train produce a lot of emission and gas and power. These things are well needed, but sadly, they are more and more of a harm and a threat to our society. And I can't see any way around that because, well, we need transportation. So the question is, what do we do to get rid of these threats to society? Rid of the pollutants that come from cars and trains and factories, because factories employ thousands of people. Factories and emission plants and all that, but it's creating more pollutants. And oh gosh, I was going to say something. I forgot what it was. However, the fact is the pollution is there. I believe one solution could be, instead of driving a gasoline dependent car, switching to a electric car. I know me personally, I do not drive. I don't know how to drive as of yet, and I would prefer to get an electric car because in the long run it's going to save on gas. It's not going to be a pollutant to my society. It's not going to cause as much of a threat. Another thing is, gas can potentially explode. It can be explosive, dangerous, deadly. Whereas I feel that an electric car, like I said, is more safe. It's not polluting and it saves on money. Um, okay. Air pollution can spread very fast and kill thousands. Such an event happened in 1984 in India, killing 8,000 people at a pestilence, I believe, at a pestilence plant. I'm trying to see if I wrote that right. I'm looking on my cards here. Okay, personal experience I've had with pollution growing up in Dallas. I would visit my grandmother's house with my mother very often in Oak Cliff. And in leaving Oak Cliff, we would drive through South Dallas. And there was this big factory. And I would find myself, driving across that long little street, almost leading to the State Fair, Texas. And almost leading up is this big factory plant. And I'm always thinking, what is that smell? And every time we would drive that way, heading toward the State Fair, we would think to ourselves, what is that smell? And we knew we was by that factory because the smell is just immersive, hinder us. It's awful to say the least. And that is sadly the effects of pollution. Like I said, it employs thousands of people, but it is affecting our health. And we have to ask those hard questions like, is there any way we can substitute factories and pestilence plants and pesticides and cars and trains so that we are living longer and so that our health and our heart is not being affected by these strong chemicals that are emerging from our cars, trucks, and factory plants and pesticides? Is it worth it? And the hard question is, we need innovators out there that are coming up with things like electric cars that could possibly lessen this pollution threat to our society and ultimately mankind. Okay, and flip my notes over. According to the New York Times, pollution is one of the most deadliest things that are harming our country in a whole, like in general. What I found fascinating, according to www. Don't know what I wrote here, but I think it's nps.gov, is that pollution can not only travel locally, neighborhood wise, in cities and streets and factory, but surprisingly and amazingly, like this blew my mind, it can travel from one country to the next country, causing potential death, potential harm, potential disease, and pesticides inside people, animals, and marine life. It can travel from other countries up to thousands of miles to parks, from park to park. Don't know how. And like I said, amusement parks are full of pollution. And we need to, I wonder, what is the answer to it? Because we need trains, we need buses, we need cars. So unless everything can go electric, I don't know how to solve that. Pollution, it just seems like something that's going to be here, something that could potentially kill mankind if it's not underway. But we would just have to figure out solutions. Natural disasters, like volcanic ash, can pollute the sky for days, causing crops to die, causing there to be no vegetables, no whatever farmers are depending on to sell. It can hurt us in the long run because of the pollution from volcanoes and other natural disasters that can cause pollution, like tsunamis. They can kick up debris, kick up water, cause pollution, cause babies to die, cause people to be sick, cause people to suffocate. These are all effects of pollution. All right, and I've already quoted the New York Times deeming pollution as one of the world's biggest threats. Here on my last note card here, because I believe I have, yes. So, air pollution is the single greatest threat to human health globally. I found that like You mean it's not heart attack, it's not cancer, it's not diabetes, it's not AIDS, it's pollution, something that we have control over? Because I assume that most pollution is man made, although it can come from natural substances like volcanic ash, like tsunamis, like I said, but a lot of it comes from us, from factories, from cars and trains. And that was from algae, AGLI dot epic. UCHIEGG.edu. Factories, power plants, pesticides that kill bugs, keep your homes clean. They can create major threats not only to us but our pets, the marine, the ocean animals, and so it just makes us wonder. I went way over my time. What can we do to stop this? I think pollution is something that we all have to come together and work and try to figure out a resolvents, try to figure out solutions to get this problem underway. And so I think it'll be interesting going forward, seeing what mankind is going to do to get rid of pollution altogether. Because if not, pollution can get rid of us altogether. So I hope you all enjoyed my speech on pollution. And I think I touched on all of my topics from my little note cards. Yeah. So pollution can be natural, it can be man made, it can spread from country to country. It's in factories, it's in amusement parks, it's in your cars and your trucks. Can we just go green? Can we use solar energy? Can we buy a Nissan Leaf instead of that big truck, or riding a train or trucks? I don't know, but I think that it's interesting going forward, figuring out what mankind is going to do to try to resolve some of these issues, seeing that it's a huge issue, the number one issue globally. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's my topic on pollution, and have a great day. Can't wait to hear what you all think.